made a great achievement in her life, and she shared her achievement, which really inspired me. Because she worked in airlines, she worked in UN, United Nations, and she's now a professor, and she's also teach online.
Yeah, you know, it's your boy. Yeah. Alright, listen. I started out on the pavement. Bet you thought I wouldn't make it. Wondering why you ain't did it? Cause you only working that day shift. Yeah, success is contagious. We winners on regular basis. A lot of y'all getting mad, huh? Like how we do it from the basement. I ain't been getting no sleep. Lately I'm playing for keeps. Lately I'm out on these streets. Been talking to God.
And welcome back to another episode of the P.O.T.N podcast, a podcast dedicated to war people, motivating all of you listeners to go that one step further in your lives. It's been a while, guys, and welcome back to the show. The podcast is officially back, and today with me, I have a super guest. We studied together at the University of Hertfordshire. He's an aviation and aerospace enthusiast like myself. He's a business major, so he's looking to get into business as well and start his own businesses. He's a keen learner and self-developer. He's always looking to learn new things. He's been a student ambassador, so he knows what it's like to work with a lot of people, and he's a real fun guy. He's a real friendly guy. I'm really excited to have him on the podcast today. I'd like to welcome Amir to the podcast. Amir, thank you for joining me today and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Takura. It's been my pleasure to join your show, and I'm sure, like both of us, can learn from each other and share with our audiences.
Absolutely, bro. We're here to learn and obviously develop and grow and become better every single time. So it's all about learning, inspiring each other, and building each other up to reach that next step as well.
Yes, definitely.
Absolutely, man. So obviously, sorry for cutting you off, but obviously, to build and create a nice, good icebreaker, can you tell our listeners, a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what you're currently doing, and what you get up to in your free time?
Well, I'm sure like Takura already told me more about me, what I accomplished. But I'll say it again. So my name is Amir. I'm from Bangladesh. I did my bachelor's degree in aerospace engineering from University of Hertfordshire from England. Currently I finished my business degree from Canada, and currently I'm doing two jobs in two different companies. So one is part-time, one is full-time. And here I am doing podcast with Takura. He's helping me actually quite some time now. Well, that's all about me.
Oh, wow, man. To the fact that if you've mentioned so much and you've done an internship and you're working part-time and full-time as well. And I remember you mentioned obviously working within a tech company, you're helping them develop and you're also upskilling yourself by helping other people in support as well,
Yeah,
man.
about that, I'm doing part-time in a tech company which they built with management software and they provide service with the management service. So I'm working in the project with that tech company named Lincore. I'm helping the CEO to win a government bidding of Canada, which that's our target. And it's quite interesting project I'm doing with my CEO of Lincore. And the full-time jobs I'm working, of course, I need to pay my bills and to survive. So full-time I'm employed in a healthcare company in near my place. So two different jobs, but quite valuable experience.
Absolutely, man. And any experience you get is valuable and it adds to your development. And, obviously working in a tech company, how dynamic that environment is. And also the fact that, you can say you've worked in tech and you've worked in healthcare as well. Two completely different worlds. So your adaptability is quite high, being able to, adapt to the different work environments, the different demands. That takes a lot, man. And, I'm really, really proud of you for achieving that and obviously consistently working through it as well.
Yeah, about that, for example, time management is a big issue, a big challenge for me.
Mm-hmm.
For example, during my internship, I was doing internship in two different companies and also doing full time in healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of took a toll on my body, and as you can see, but luckily I managed to overcome the challenge. I used to work 6 hours a day full time and taking helping the tech company, doing internship in that tech company. It's a remote work, luckily for me, and of course going to the office for a PCL construction to another company. I was doing intern, so three company, three jobs, three different roles. It's quite. It was quite challenging, I must say, and I don't want to do it ever again. Luckily, it was just for three months, but finally managed to finish it.
Well, I mean, congratulations, man, for being able to manage all three jobs as well. Like, it takes a lot. And I think when you mentioned about time management and the effects it takes on your body, the fact that you managed to, stay strong and, you kept pushing yourself, and, tried to, you're doing, obviously, you've done your best, man, because the fact that you're here recording with me today and the fact you can confidently say that you've completed an internship, you're working full-time and part-time as well. That's a lot to take on board, but the fact that you're able to do it, it kind of reminisces like how us engineers were able to do so much at the same time. So you're multitasking, so that's really, really, really like inspiring, man. And I'm pretty sure the listeners can be like, wow, if you're able to do that, you can imagine what you can achieve, like when you really put your mind to it.
Well, to be honest, especially I did engineering degree in aerospace
Mm-hmm.
in University of Hertfordshire, especially in
Yeah.
the second year and the final year. The amount of pressure we can, it's kind of like get me used to it, like handle the pressure, handle the task, so many tasks in a short amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Especially then, remember the final year projects, two big projects we used to do in the final year, and lots of group assignment, and not to mention the exams. Very short time, but too many models. It's
Oh
challenging,
yeah.
yes, and it's depressed, but it's very good for us to build up and take challenges in the future.
Exactly. And I like that you mentioned that, because I think we are living testament of how intense a degree like aerospace engineering is. And obviously this isn't
Definitely.
disregarding the other degrees, because obviously every degree is difficult. And whoever's going into, whether it's, they're studying the social sciences, or they're studying health, or they're studying law or business, or it has its challenges. And the most
Yeah.
important thing is obviously recognizing those challenges, but not seeing them as permanent obstacles, but seeing them as um temporary blockers that give you an opportunity to find solutions and find ways to work around them, work through them, work under or over. It's about being able to adapt with your challenges and turn difficult situations into workable situations as well. So
Well, that's it, guys. So here is our
yeah.
Takura. He has lots of experience, and he's also sharing his experience too.
Oh man, like I think
Yeah.
obviously, like I'd love to share my experiences. I think a lot of the episodes I've shared my experiences as well, but the whole essence of your episode obviously is for you to share yours. And obviously, guys, this is your opportunity to hear the wisdom that's going to come out of Amir's mouth. So we'll get straight into the next question as well, and really jump and get the wheels rolling here. But Amir, can you tell the listeners, tell them your passions, what you love doing, and what you love most about the passions you have.
Well, first passion I have is like leading a healthy lifestyle. Uh,
Yeah.
I learned second passion I have is I'm a very aviation enthusiastic guy.
Yeah.
So I keep updating myself with aerospace companies, with what kind of new product are releasing in the market, and of
Hmm.
course with the aviation industry. So these are the passion I have, especially aviation. Love it. uh, we can see like SpaceX, Elon Musk, what he is achieving. And recently
Hmm.
I saw this UK company, which they released one of the most fastest electric aircraft which carry passenger in the world.
Hmm.
We saw the news earlier. So yeah, keep updating myself with aviation news and industry and healthy lifestyle, which bring changes in my life.
Absolutely, man. Health is wealth, and obviously that's number one. It keeps us going. It helps. It's not only like a physical thing, but it's a mental and a psychological thing. So it's important to stay on top of that. And man, oh man, aerospace, planes. Yes, you gotta love planes, man. Oh, how much it's for the listeners, obviously I don't think you can tell how much excitement me and Amir we have in our voices when we talk about the aerospace industry and our passions for flying and having the opportunity to actually fly and learn how to fly as well
Yeah,
and what
not
it's
just
like.
that. I was actually getting my license uh, for ATR and CTL in Canada while I was doing my
Yeah.
degree, which is quite challenging, but I'm still continuing flying, although due to COVID, my flight school is closed, but hopefully I'll be starting soon and
Yeah.
start getting to the sky.
Well, obviously, man. For me, obviously, I know you're a passionate pilot and an aviation enthusiast, and you love flying. It's unfortunate, obviously, your air school is closed because of COVID. Hopefully things get sorted out sooner rather than later. Because I know what it's like and the rust you have when you get back into the plane and you want to do air traffic ATC calls and you're trying to get around the controls again, and man, like it's
Especially
it's
with the
it's
ATC,
it
with the heavy traffic, list you cannot swear at them, you know.
yeah, exactly. Oh man, this is amazing. It's like going
Yeah.
back in time and really learning about what makes us happy. But I think a key point I wanted to share with everyone, obviously, from what me and the passion me and Amir share is, for whatever passion you have, regardless of your circumstances. Because Amir, he's had three jobs at one time, and he's now working double job, two jobs, and he volunteers and he's learning Japanese. I believe, it's a spoiler for everyone,
Oh,
he's learning Japanese.
well, I don't have to mention it here. It's just something I have a hobby to learn about Japanese culture and the Japanese language. And I'm currently doing online course. Like I said, I like to learn new things.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
which is I'm doing online course with a name Crazy Japanese. You guys should check it out. Crazy Japanese. Teacher Tanuki. She's a very one of the best Japanese teacher I ever met because she's fluent in English and of course she's native Japanese. So she's a teacher, she's a professor who teaches Japanese language to the
yeah.
foreigners. Well, it's a quite good experience. Little by little, I'm learning about the language from her by online, of course. And make sure you guys should check it out. Then Crazy Japanese.
Exactly. Exactly, guys. Check out Crazy Japanese, and the fact that when you accumulate everything that Amir is doing as well, you know, once you're passionate about something, regardless of your circumstances, you can power through it as long as you love it. And obviously, Amir, he loves learning, and Crazy Japanese, for all those who are looking to learn Japanese. I think I also one. If we're just thinking, I think the only thing I've covered is the introduction. So konnichiwa, watashi wa Takura desu. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but
Yes, that's Like, how are you?
Yeah. Somewhat there, you know.
Although I'm not the bright guy when it comes to language, I'm a very slow learner in terms of language learning. But my teacher, Tanaka, has lots of patience and teaching me slowly, step by step.
Hmm. Exactly, and I think with that, and I think obviously with your podcast episode as well, like when it comes to language learning, and I'm pretty sure you can agree, is learning something new that you've never learned before. It takes time because you're kind of like in your brain you're untying all the strings that are tied together because you want to accommodate what you're learning, the new stuff that you're learning. So and the fact that you've got a fantastic teacher, that helps as well because you're slowly building up your confidence in understanding Japanese and writing it as well, which is always good. And obviously could keep pushing, bro. You'll get to fluent, whatever level you regard as fluency, man. That's the most important thing. And it opens you up as well because I'm pretty sure, if I'm not wrong, the aerospace industry in Japan as well. It's quite
Oh yes,
active.
it's very demanding, especially. Um, do you know that in Japan the pilot gets the highest salary out of
Oh,
all kind of sector in their country?
okay.
They're the most highest paid job in the world in Japan in
Wow.
pilot.
Wow. Wow. So you can imagine he's already motivated from from Bangladesh. He lives in Canada. Then he occasionally goes to Japan, and he's a global traveler. So you can already see how the direction Amir's going, and it's exciting to see where things go from here.
Well, challenge comes, my friend. Like, you know that after they graduate from England, by that
Mm,
time, I recall it 2018 or 2017, they don't used to give any work permit, right? If you finish your study,
mm,
either you just get kicked out or find a job within 3 months, which was a big stress for most of us, you know. And
yeah.
it was also a stress for me. Like, I tried applied to many aerospace companies, but either there's more qualified people or I was not qualified enough by that time when I graduated. But
Yeah.
and of course, very limited time. You know, 3 months. It's hard to find a good job in 3 months time limit in England. So I came back
Absolutely.
home and give it a thought, and then I chose Canada, see the opportunities, did my bit of research and background information. Right now,
Yeah.
here I am. You know.
Living their life, man. So yeah, it's important. Like I think I want to add on to what you said. Like I think a lot of people, obviously the rules are different now. But when we were studying as international students, obviously the time was against us. And obviously, like I think you mentioned at the beginning, how like time management's a critical thing that you've had to learn and develop and improve. And we basically were working against the clock. So the time scales weren't favorable. But as with all things, when one door closes, another one opens, and there are better opportunities and better things to look forward to going forward as well.
Yes, definitely. Because you never know when the life will take you.
Exactly, man.
Right now I'm sitting here, right? And the first decision I made, you know, in my life to go out of my country and see the world. I guess that's the like best decision I made in my life. And
Ex-
I become started to learn while I'm traveling the world. Met very great people like Takura and others in my course.
yeah.
I was lucky to
uh,
have met them, all of them. Actually.
Absolutely, man. And I think all of our experiences shape us and they help us, and also the connections we build are important. So, with that, man, we'll move on to the next question. And I'm pretty curious, the listeners are also interested to know, like, can you tell us, a bit about, your inspirations, like who's inspired you and made a positive impact on you in what you're doing?
Well, there are like many people which made inspired me a lot, but I'm going to mention there are few people who really did. uh, keeping me impact in my life. Right now, who am I now? Like, they really did a lot and inspired me a lot. First of all, of course, my parents, especially my dad. Um, he's always used to say, "Hey, okay, since you're enthusiastic about aerospace, why not you just go up there, they have a really good university, and learn it, get a degree,
Hmm.
and do whatever you want after you get a degree." And I gave it a thought to my dad words, and that's when I made this decision to study, get aerospace degree in England. Second person I must mention is our my course mate I met in University of Hertfordshire.
Hmm.
Of course, Nick Amir, I think you heard of him, right?
Yeah,
He's
Nick.
excellent
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
brother
Nick. Yeah.
and very positive guy who always used to cheer me up. And right now, uh, no, not, I mean, least but not last, is Chad Cowler, who is my manager in PCL
Hmm.
construction, who I did
Yeah.
my internship with. He was my supervisor, and last 3 months he have been inspired me a lot. Like shared me his daily routine, how to improve myself, and keep supporting me every day, every day task. And he also shared his life story, how he get to the point to be a manager in PCO in a special project, which inspired me a lot. Like he motivated me. Like okay, although his background is, I believe he got his only degree in architect, but
Okay.
even though he just had one degree, he keep improving himself. He learned new things, even a little technical knowledge, like how to paint your wall in the house, for example. He
Yeah.
learned that, and he keep learning every single day, every month, every year to improve himself and how to deal with things. And that's how he's in that position right now.
Exactly, bro. And shout out to all of your inspirations. Your parents, your dad, Nick. Shout out to Nick. Hey, if you're watching this, man, we love you, man. Wherever you are, man, and we hope you're doing well. And obviously, shout out to you, your manager from PCL Construction, like for
Dad,
teaching
yeah,
you. Yeah, for teaching you all of the things he taught you, and even with he's not what I think the key thing we were learning from him is no just because we
how
have
to manage
one
a life, how
yeah,
to set a
yeah,
goal, how to do key plannings,
yeah.
either for your personal or even on your professional life. So
Oh
planning,
wow.
management, set goals, these things he like really literally input in my head.
Yeah. And you really see the value in that, like when you're put in difficult situations. Like I think going back to your example of working three jobs, like all those things you learned from him, they've helped you manage working three different jobs, completing your studies, working as well.
Definitely. There's two more person I like to
Yeah.
mention. Is one is Takura because I often listen to his podcast, which also
Yeah.
made a big impact in my life. And also my teacher Tanuki, the Japanese teacher. She also made a great achievement in her life, and she shared her achievement, which really inspired me. Because she worked in airlines, she worked in UN, United Nations, and she's now a professor, and she's also teach online. So she had
Wow.
very diverse background.
Wow. Wow.
And
Wow.
not to
Hey,
mention, she's graduated from University of Toronto, did her master's.
okay. Wow. Okay. Okay. Oh man. Hey, firstly, man, shout out to your teacher. Shout out to your Japanese teacher. I think it takes a lot for
Hey,
somebody who has
Tanuki,
such
if you're teacher Sensei Tanuki, if you're listening to it, please give a shout.
a big shout out to her, man. And I hope she's watching this. And we're wishing you all the best. And keep doing what you're doing. And thank you for saying. I'm just trying my best. To be inspirational or trying to add a bit of light to a pretty dark a world that's got light and darkness. We're just trying to add, do our bit to try and put smiles on people's faces, and that's the most important thing. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So, we'll move on to the next question. I'm pretty sure this one will get you thinking a little bit, about, but from all the experiences you've gone through, can you tell the listeners and myself an experience you've gone through that has shown you that positivity still exists in the world and in people?
Yeah. Actually, to be honest, well, my first positive experience is when I landed here in Canada, and
Mhm.
I booked an Airbnb, but my taxi was not on time. But luckily, and the person who I booked with Airbnb, she was checking me, like, other on the texting me in the email and Facebook that where am I safe or not. And after running into the airport, I literally like, there's no taxi because the taxi I booked, I don't know what happened to that guy. And it was very cold winter, very cold.
Oh,
Like, trust
wow.
me, in Canada, it's like one of the most cold. But then, I had to tell my situation to the Airbnb management, that lady, and she was a very nice lady. Luckily, she had a car. She drove all the way, like almost half an hour, like at almost 1 a.m. at night to pick me up from the airport. And
Wow.
she offered me some hot chocolate on the way. She asked me, am I alright or not? So for a second, I thought, I was lost. I don't know how to get there because airport here, especially in Winnipeg, there's no people after 1 a.m. and no car. But that's really almost saved me. A
Yeah.
really positive experience for me.
Wow. You
Since
know,
she showed her helping hand at the right time at the right moment.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, that's amazing. Like, somebody who, I think it's very, very inspiring that, she showed a great amount of concern, and she took that extra step. She said, no, let me go and get Amir from the airport and bring him back to his accommodation where he should be staying. That shows a real sense of responsibility, a real sense of awareness as well, and and the fact hot chocolate as well, man. Like, welcome to Canada. It's cold, but you get a hot beverage to warm you up, and that really, really, it says a lot about people in Canada. The friendliness, the courteousness, the respectfulness as well. The fact that she helped you in that moment, and I can understand what it's like an airport, like after in the evenings, like after 1 o'clock. um I don't know if I ever told you the time when I was working at a Stansted airport in the UK. Like, uh how, like, after, I think it's like flights finish around like 3:30 in the morning, but I would
Ooh,
finish work like just I think just before 12 or just after 12. So, you know, you finish your work shift, and the airport is quiet, and the only people who are in the airport, the people who are cleaning, people who are waiting for their flights the next day, because some people would have traveled from far when they want to fly into Europe, or they want to fly
mhm.
to into America, or but then they have to sleep inside the airport on the ground. It's not a great sight, but like, it's one of those where when you see it, you're just like, wow, do people really have to go through this?
Definitely.
But the fact that you were helped out in that situation by her, and she helped you, and obviously you got transport, you got your accommodation, and your stay in, or your tenure in Canada started off on a smooth note. So it's really, really inspiring that.
Thank you. Although one more experience I faced is during job interview in Canada.
Yeah.
With my when I was doing my interview with the PCL for internship, so my
Mhm.
manager Chad was taking the interview, and he asked me like, "Do I have an experience?" in terms of I was doing like marketing strategist as an intern in PCL.
Mm-hmm.
So he was asking me, do I have any background experience? I said no, but he gave it a thought and he said that, okay, there are other candidates from my class who have lots of experience. And but you don't have not much experience. So why should we choose you and not them? Well, I give a thought and just answer, well, it's up to you to decide. I can guarantee I'll retire it back, always retire it back as a
Yeah.
positive way at my workplace or my college as a figure. So my manager, he listened to it and he said that, okay, we'll get back to you soon. And actually, 2 days later, I asked my other classmates whether they got the offer or not. Some of them said that none of them they got the offer. Then I thought maybe they did not choose me since I don't have any background experience in terms of marketing and strategy. But 2 days, 3 days later, my manager he called me. Hey, Amir, would you like to work with us? Actually,
Wow.
we feel like we're very you're the right person for this candidate because you like to learn something new and you're very positive and optimistic. I like your attitude.
Yeah.
I said, oh really? So my manager chance, he gave me a chance to work with them, and he told me actually like, okay, if we don't give you the experience here, then someone has to give you the experience and to learn about the professional life. We saw that others they have plenty of experience. They don't need the internship, but for me, they feel like, okay, since I have not much experience in this industry, I will definitely need it. It's a really big favor from my manager for giving me a chance to work with them, and
Absolutely, bro. Yeah.
it's really positive. Uh, I must say.
Awesome, man. And thanks for sharing that, because I think that the fact that in the interview, they asked you a question and you were very open and honest about not having experience. But I think that's what made them like decide to go with you, because you were open, you're honest. But you didn't just say like, oh, I don't have any experience, I don't know like what I can do.
Not
But you
really.
said no,
Yeah, I just told my background, what I know
yeah,
about the work.
yeah,
Of course, I read the work description, what they need, and my skills. I shared my skills, and they asked me a few questions about how I face the challenges in life, and I shared
yeah,
it from my experience. I guess that's also kind of really motivate them to take me. And what's important, they told me is the positive attitude, whether they can work with me or not. They were a bit concerned with the candidates, which is perfectly fit me to for
yeah,
that
yeah.
position.
Well, I guess what I can say is obviously you. This is ironic as well, because it was a marketing strategist internship, but like you marketed yourself really well, and they gave you the job. So you you marketed yourself very well, and you became a marketing strategist. So that's really really. It's like I wouldn't know how to say, but like I think it's like when things when wires connect and everything interlinks and everything falls into place. So I think that's a really really inspiring story, and like it's experience. Like thank you for sharing that, and I think it helps anyone who may be looking to go into interviews and they're not confident in a particular
Just,
area,
yeah,
but
be
you
honest
know.
yourself. Don't try to pretend to be something you are not.
Mm, mm, mm. Very, very true. Be yourself. Don't pretend to be anything else. That's very, very true. And guys, that we'll copyright that. That's Amir's quote right there. Be yourself. Don't pretend to be somebody else. Be yourself. But yeah, thank you for sharing that, bro. So, we'll move on to the next question as well. And I'm pretty sure this one, it'll really kind of, make you think about obviously the challenges you've gone through in the past and the challenges you're facing at present. But can you tell the listeners and myself how you've overcome challenges, and you faced before?
Well, challenge I faced in my life many. Basically, the most challenge I faced when I could not achieve things I wanted. Right. For example,
Mm,
um, if I want, if I wanted to go to an aerospace
mm-hmm,
company and work with them, and sometimes I fail. Most of the time, because I might not be not fit for the position I'm applying for.
mm,
So challenges that got to me is like more depression and also demotivation. So it's kind of
mm,
demotivated me because I could not achieve the things I wanted, right? So depression and demotivation is also both mental challenge I face, and how I overcome them is that well, uh, I think about myself, where I was like 10 years ago, and I look
mm,
at my history and how I improved myself.
mm,
So I see my experience and the history. If I think about the life I have been through, that's kind of like motivated me most of them. And of course, I always think
mm.
positive because I know that there's God, the Creator, always has something better for me in the future. So that really keeps me going. Never give up.
Awesome, man. Hey, thank you for sharing that. I know it may have been a bit difficult for you to share that, but thank you for sharing that. And it's important to know, guys. When you're going through hard times, you know, always look back. Don't always look back. What I'm trying to say is use your achievements, your past achievements, and you overcoming previous challenges in the past to motivate you to overcome what you're facing, because you've come a long way from where you were before, and you're on the road to success and self-improvement is a long journey, and you go through a lot of ups and downs, but you never forget the ups. You learn from the downs, but you never forget the ups and the what it took for you to achieve those things. And that's really, really important. And obviously we praise God as well. All praise to the Most High. We have to, I think it's important, like you mentioned, maintaining a positive attitude, even in difficult times. If you remain positive and you laugh about situations, even if it's difficult and tough, it
It's
helps you because.
challenges can be many from like financial challenge I faced, but I managed to
Mm,
overcome with working hard. My financial challenge is
exactly.
gone. Mental challenge, I already told you guys how you face it and how you might overcome it. And most importantly, share your feelings, how you feel, someone you trust. Share your
Mm,
feelings with your best friend, or it it's really stress. It really like really stress a lot. If you talk with someone, if you really feel stress, of course, by talking you will find the solution somehow.
exactly. It's better out than in. You can't bottle it up. You have to let it out. And that
Yeah,
helps as well.
that's the worst part. When someone is in depressed, I met many people who
Mm,
will try, don't want to bottle it. It comes to themselves. It's like
mm,
very can be like quite dangerous and harmful
mm.
for that person. Okay, anyway, next question we can go for.
Right. Yeah. So on that, I think linked into the previous question, what do you think is the most valuable thing about, going through a failure or facing adversity?
Well, what I learned in my life that failure is actually not a failure. It's kind of like learning
Mm-hmm.
platform and
Mm-hmm.
review why you failed and try it again. So review the failures and make a new plan, make a new strategies, and plan your life, plan your manage your time, and implement the things you learned from the failing.
Mm-hmm.
That's very important. So reflection of the failures is quite important. Not just okay, I
Yeah.
failed, I just let it go. No, no, no. You have to think why you failed, and of course there's a bit of luck, which is out of our control, not in our
Mm,
domain, but which is our domain, which is in our control, is preparation. Get ourselves
mm.
ready, prepare ourselves for the next challenge, and get reflect of the failure. and what the points he felt and improve themselves. That's important.
Exactly. And thank you for sharing that, man. Like self reflection is important. Failure is not a failure; it's a lesson. And
Yeah,
planning ahead. Like, what can I do differently? What can I learn? Can I do
exactly.
research? Can I? So it's all about being proactive, man. And it's very very important.
Either it's personal life or job interview or
Hmm.
doing something new. These things apply to all.
Yeah, it applies to all, and you're constantly learning, and you're constantly getting better each and every time. So with that, with what you've shared about it being about self reflection and all, when you're now looking forward, as things progress and things are moving forward, what excites you the most about the future going forward, Amir?
Well, for the future, actually, to be honest, what excites me is that God is always planning for me something good in the future.
Mm.
And I don't know the future, what will come, what I will see tomorrow. So the surprise is kind
Yeah.
of excites me in the future, like what's the outcome, my planning and my working and my hard working. Will it going to pay it off, or shall I have
Mm.
to take a new decision in life for the future? So
Hmm.
future is unseen, and that's really excites me. That I really don't know what will happen. So prepare for it, and it really excites me. Okay, tomorrow it might be something different,
Hmm.
and I write it in my diary. All right, tomorrow what I expect, and if it happen, how much I can accomplish. So that's excites me, like keep me going. That I really don't know. So not knowing the future is kind of like really exciting.
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
aerospace, like you really don't know how that happened, but you do trial and error testing in the lab, like okay, trying to figure the answer, right?
Oh man, that's a great answer. Like I think that's the first time I've heard that. That's a very very good answer. Like I guess as well with the future, like you said, it's unseen. We don't know, but just having that element of preparedness, like you're not anticipating, but like if something happens and something's different, you're like, okay, today is different. Um,
Yeah,
like I'm ready for it. This is what I'm going to do to
yeah.
tackle it, and I
The
like
thing
that,
is,
man. I like that.
I really don't know the result, right? I can put
Yeah.
lots of hard work for my project, for my personal things, but I
Mm.
really don't know the outcome. What will happen in the future? It can be either positive or negative. So I
Exactly. So yeah, man. Hey, like I think for what you shared, that's a very, very it's a very dynamic approach because you're it's got some structure, but at the same time, it's allowing for adaptability if things change or if different outcomes occur. Because obviously we can't plan and hope for everything to go our way, and when things don't,
exactly.
like we should be in that mindset where right, okay, things haven't gone
Mm-hmm.
right for me. What do I do now? How do I improve? How do I get past this? That kind of a thing. That's really, really important, man. And thank you for sharing that as well. So,
No worries.
we'll move on to the next question. We'll move on to the next question. I'm pretty sure you love this because it gives all of the listeners a chance to understand how you operate and how you go about completing your tasks. But what would you say helps you stay focused and productive when you're working and getting through tasks and you're handling all of the different things that you're doing?
Well, two things. It keeps me stay on the focus on the task. First of all,
Yeah.
three, which helps me to keep stay focused on the task. One is I really like doing it, so it's gonna motivate me.
Mm-hmm.
Second is the set. I always set a goal of each task, like what I want to achieve. So I'm more clear about my
Mm-hmm.
goal. So since I want to achieve the goal, I stay focused on the task. So, okay, I set a deadline of the goal, and to reach the deadline, I have to do suppose 5, 6 tasks for one goal. So which keeps me going, and I stay focused. That okay, each day I will do suppose 10 minutes of this task.
Mm-hmm.
So 7 days a week, 70 minutes, I almost finish the task. So divide the task into minutes. or timing and manage it and set the goal, how you reach that and how you wanna finish that task. So that's very important. And which I do. I always write things on my diary. Like I
Mm-hmm.
have a set goal to finish the podcast with my friends. So
But
yeah,
like,
that's my goal. And we set up the timing, do planning, and
mhm.
finally it's the motivation of finishing the task which gives me focus, like not to get distracted.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's absolutely right, man. I think obviously having the grit, the motivation, and the determination to complete the task is important. Writing it down somewhere, whether it's on your phone or on a piece of paper, it helps. And setting time and deadlines, it also creates that sense of urgency that you need to complete it. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Pomodoro Method. It's a time management technique
All right,
that
that is one of the management course which you have to do. Yeah, that's
exact. Yeah. So a very good friend of mine, Bronzy, or shout out Bronzy. He shared it in his episode on this podcast as well. Like how you set yourself times to complete tasks, and it helps when you're focused and you've got zero distractions and you complete a certain number of tasks in that period that you said you're going to work before you allow yourself distraction. So that's really, really, from what you've said, I think it links into that as well. And it's
yeah,
it's a very,
definitely.
very it's a very, very proactive and dynamic way of working, man, and that shows a lot of energy. And I thank you again for sharing that, man. It's an eye opener, and it's an opportunity for me also to learn like new things, like the way you do things. I could think, oh, well, I like that. I'll also try it as well and see how it gets me. So you never lose anything from trying anything new.
Yeah,
Right.
I agree.
So exactly. Yeah, so we'll move on to the next question. And I'm pretty sure you love this question because it's also a self-reflection question as well. But what would you say are your strongest qualities? And from the qualities you have, what qualities would you like to share or pass on to the next generation or somebody who is willing to learn from you?
Well, actually, strongest quality I have is the adaptability. So no
Mm-hmm.
matter how hard the situation is, in terms of stress, timing, or getting used to a new environment, getting used to new job, getting used to learning new skills. So adaptability, which I learned during my whole period of time when I entered, when I went outside my country till this day, adapting to the situation, adapting to the environment, adapting to the new workplace, adapting to the new course and professional. Adaptability and simplicity is the most,
Mm-hmm.
these are the two things I really good at. And I do like
Yeah.
to teach adaptability, how to adapt the situation to my audience. If they want to learn, I can share more experience of mine. Although I might not be a good teacher, but I will tell or share my experience from the life, like getting to an environment, like I'm in Canada, so one of the most coldest places in the world. That's adaptability. And doing engineering degree at the same time finishing the business degree. That's called adaptability. Like, and of course, being proactive too.
Exactly, bro. Exactly, and I like all of those qualities, and I think the one I like a lot is there is when you never go wrong with keeping it simple. It's I think a lot of the times we are all when we do things we tend to complicate things without consciously complicate. There's conscious complication and then there's unconscious complication. So it's when we want things done a specific way and all that, and then there's other ways when we're doing it unconsciously we're doing something and we think, oh, we want to be perfect, has to be perfect, has to be perfect, because you keep changing things. But like when you say keep it simple, and you learn from feedback as well, which is really important. And
Yeah,
proactivity. You learn new things, you adapt. I think adaptability is your strongest suit because from coming from Bangladesh, going to a cold country like the UK, and then obviously building the relationships you built there, going back home, working there, helping the family, and then going to Canada, which is, like you said, one of the coldest countries in the world, different culture, different lifestyle. And now you're pretty much, you work a lot, working 3 jobs, you do so much, you're learning languages, you're doing so much, man. And that's really, really inspiring.
Thank you. I mean, to be honest, I'm very lucky. Um, yeah, but simplicity and adaptability practically, like practical use at the professional level, I learned during my internship with Chad, my book supervisor. He taught me giving simple solution. So even from the complex problem, we can find a simple solution. What he
Exactly.
taught me during my internship and adapt it, Suppose, for example, I was the marketing strategist, so our product of the company is very adaptive based on the customer's needs. So what the customer needs, we understand their needs and we collaborate with them and we give an adapted solution to them. So it's not just a product we build like iPhone and we give it to the customer. Now we adapt our product based on the customer needs. So at a professional level. There you go, guys. That's kind of like a practical example of adaptability.
Wow, you see, guys, Amir is he's going that one step further, and he's sharing practical examples with you over the podcast episode as well, which is really, really helpful because it's all well and good to give generic feedback and information, but the fact that he's also adding in, he's from the skeleton, he's adding in flesh, and he's adding in all the parts for you to understand and how to approach things. And obviously every situation is different, but your approach is obviously very, very important. How you go into it, the mindset and all that is also very, really, really important as well. Okay, cool. So, we'll move on to the next question. Given all the characteristics and the skills you've mentioned that you have, is there any new skills you're looking to learn going forward?
Yeah. So there are few new skills I'm looking to learn and going forward with it. One is in terms of technical knowledge. I need to learn manufacturing the product and manufacturing all the methods I plan to learn because I think I shared with you that both of us was in the future, in the long term future, we want to keep our own industry, right?
Yes.
In aerospace. So for that, manufacturing method is quite important to learn. Second skills I want to learn is how to do management in a team. So how to run a company, how to be a manager, and how to run a project and being a leader. So management and manufacturing, these two things I'm trying to learn at a professional level. So I'm doing like online little course. Yeah.
Awesome, man. And hey, those are very good skills and abilities to pick up as well, bro. Like it's really, really
But
important. Obviously, as we go
most
forward.
importantly, I'm trying to adopt is that my communication skills. That's the most
Yes.
important. As you can see, my communication skill is kind of medium, but I want to make it more better, even more better. So that's my ultimate goal: communication skills and management.
Exactly, bro. And I think with that, practice makes perfect. You just got to keep practicing and keep, like you said, if you invested in courses, you're doing online courses, you're learning, you're not limiting yourself. You're opening yourself up to all of these avenues and you will learn and you will get there eventually as well.
Yes. Thank you.
So in closing, bro, what inspiring words would you love to leave the listeners with who've listened to your episode today?
Well, actually, I must say, set a goal in life. Like think about, do some reflection and brainstorming about the life. I try to find what's the objective of your own life, like why you are here. Think about it and try to connect with your goal. Like what's your goal in life? Do you want to achieve money, or do you want to be fame, or do you want to achieve something different? For
Mm.
myself, I like to bring change in my life and bring change to others' life to do something different. Bring change in life and society. That's my life goal, ultimately, which I set my task and goals from that. For yours, of course, it depends on the individual. So, give a reflection of your own life, give a reflection, and think about life, like why you are here and what's the objective of the life. So these are the words I like to say to my audience. Sometimes for me, I found my objective of life from my creator. Others found their objective of life different, like my friend Takura. I think he also found his objective of life too, I believe.
Yeah, man. And, thank you for sharing those, wise words. And I think it's important, obviously, people, work towards setting themselves goals and finding their purpose and, reaching a level of fulfillment and being happy. And that's really, really important. And, whatever their goals are, as long as they also aim for happiness, it's really, really important. So, thank you
Yeah,
again
I
for
mean,
sharing that.
have a good day, and it was a pleasure to join you here, and thank you.
Right. Thank you once again. And we've now reached the end of another amazing episode here on the P.O.T.N. P.O.T.N. podcast. I'd like to thank my guest Amir for joining in this short space of time. Thank you for taking the time to sit
No,
down with me today.
you're most welcome, and make sure you like and subscribe and stay updated to the bottom.
Hey, thank you. Thank you
All
so
right,
much.
no
and,
worries.
and guys, and guys, make sure you subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube, GeoSaven, Ghana, and many other platforms you can listen to this podcast on as well. I'd like to thank my guest again, and
And
till
you
next
can subscribe to
time.
Crazy Japanese too in Instagram or YouTube. If I
Absolutely,
add
guys. Make sure you invest in languages and learn a new language like crazy and have a look at Crazy Japanese. But thank you all for listening in. And for those who've watched, thank you for watching. Until next time, be well and take care. Bye, everyone.
I can tell all the picture from the real. All these beats that I've been cooking, you can see I'm doing well. I can tell all these haters had to bail. Making distance on my business, had to switch my clientele. Yeah, catch me chucking deuces at these niggas losing. Chasing all my dreams, but I'm not talking lucid. I'm talking to these dudes who've been acting stupid. Wondered of the fact they've been so secluded. Everything is copacetic. On the other side, perspective be dwelling on my eyes. Anxiety as I try to visualize all the people that have been victimized. Their lives are filled with so much trauma. My heart is filled with so much trauma. But now I'm finding my own ladder, whether it's a half empty glass or half full. I'm glad for the chance I came through. Now I got to subdue, cause I've been chilling, sipping on some Mountain Dew. God bless me like got you. Real friends, I got a few. I could probably count them on one hand, while my other hand is never idle. Nah, the real are never kind of racks that I'll always recommend. Yeah, the real G's are never taking shots on the Instagram. Shit, I see through all the pain hiding in your diaphragm. Yeah, I just took a trip and came back from the motherland.
Music by Justin Vinyls.